what's going on? You're tuned into the On The Beat podcast. Make sure you follow us on IG at onthebeat.podcast. This is your boy Supa Mario, and you're tuned in to the On The Beat podcast. Let's go. Yeah, you on the beat, talking on the beat, learning on the beat, watching on the beat. Get your skills up, won't you listen up? Yeah, you tuned in live, yeah, you on the beat. Yo, what's going on, man? This is your boy, Supa Mario. You're tuned into the On The Beat podcast. I have a very special guest with me today. I have Miss J.G. LaFleur. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing great.
Cool deal. Thank you for coming on to the show during all this COVID stuff or whatnot, man. I definitely appreciate you tuning in this Saturday. We're going to get straight into it or whatnot. Excuse that notification on my iPad, but we're going to get straight into it. How has the music been treating you during this whole COVID thing, man? How has it been?
Music is beautiful. I'm still able to write and things like that and express, but I kind of just took a break from putting music out just basically because there's so much going on in the world with the protesting, with people being sick and dying and all this. It's just a lot. So I've just been kind of taking that time to absorb, because I am a very empathic person, just to absorb everything around me and just apply that to my music so that I can put my best foot forward when the time is right.
Cool deal. That's a good way to go. First interview since this COVID thing, I started this whole podcast or whatnot. So I always ask that question because it's always funny that we have a lot of artists and artists and producers. They have their own way of dealing with this whole COVID-19 and, just trying to keep their brands out there. So I salute you for what you're doing, man. I'm going to get straight into it, man. Let the people know, who is Miss J.G. LaFleur?
J.G. LaFleur is a singer, producer, sound engineer, personal motivational speaker if you need be, but just somebody that really wants to bring good vibes to the world, help people uplift those vibrations and positive vibes.
All right, cool deal. And I just got this sense of energy, man, from you or whatnot. It just feels good just to talk to you. So, yeah, I like that. So, how did you get started in music or get started in your music career as an artist? Like, how did it all start?
Well, it definitely does start with childhood. I come from a very musical family. My mom sings and plays the piano. My uncle's a master pianist. Aunt plays the violin. So I was submerged in music as a child, and I'm a PK. So, you kind of really don't have a choice in that. They're going to put the mic in your hand immediately when you start walking. So as I grew up, my love for music grew, and I decided, I went to a studio. One of my friends was really into recording and things like that. And they was like, I'm going to take you to the studio because you can sing. So I was like, okay, let's go to the studio. And I just fell in love with that whole studio environment, recording and things like that. So that led me to go to school to learn about audio. Okay. And while I was on my scholastic journey in audio, I rediscovered my passion for singing, and I decided, I'm gonna start recording myself.
Yeah. Cost effective.
Like I can save so much money recording myself.
Yeah.
So the rest is history. So I've been doing it ever since.
Oh, that's awesome, man. So you mentioned that you went to school for it. Are you still currently in, or are you?
No, I graduated, and they even offered me a job at the school. So now I work from home doing tech support for the students that are in the program online, since we're working remotely. Okay, cool. And what school you went to? HCC, Spring Branch.
Nancy. That's why we got that vibe or whatnot, man. I went to the same school, same location, and I'm quite sure we got the same degree or whatnot, the audio recording technology program they have at Houston Community College, which is very, very awesome. This is an accredited program for all of you guys that's interested in, getting a degree in music or music recording or production or whatnot.
They're offering live sound and everything now.
All of that now, man. Actually, when I was there, that program was one semester in. So I was on the tail end of it, and I'm actually going back to school in the fall for digital media at U of H. But I thought about going back.
Graduated from there too. Go cool.
Oh, well, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? We just rolling on a parallelogram thing and whatnot. That's good. That's good. Yeah, so, you know what I'm saying? People check out ACC. They definitely have some good media programs there. Me, J.G., we vouch for that, man, for real.
Yeah.
We're going to continue rolling along, man. That's good information to know. So kind of like, you know, you as an artist and everything like that, how would you describe your vibe and style as, you know what I'm saying, or for your artistry or whatnot?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I have some gospel influences because I am a preacher's kid. So some people will hear me sing and they will hear that gospel side, but I'm a neo soul jazz artist at heart. And that coupled with going to different types of school, private school, I love rock music. So as time progresses, people will get to see that melting pot that I have to offer. You may have something that sounds a little bit like rock and country, and you may have something that's just straight neo soul. So definitely a melting pot for sure. For sure, man. And that's what I think what gravitated to me when I first met you through Music Soul Live Showcase organization. I felt a vibe about you that was different, you know what I'm saying? And it had a lot of musical influences in it. I was like, man, this female right here, she's different. And it just stuck to me. She's different and whatnot. But I definitely like that, man. We're going to go ahead and segue. And I know we talked a little bit about, you know, you being in the audio engineering and stuff like that. How has that journey been, you getting into, you know what I'm saying, audio school and everything like that? But how has that journey been just being a female audio engineer / producer? Have you faced any challenges, you know what I'm saying, being that due to the entertainment industry being sort of male dominated, you know what I'm saying, in the past, but now in the last 3 years, we've definitely seen a surge in female interaction in the music entertainment business or whatnot. So how has that journey been, and faced any challenges as a female audio engineer / producer? I did. In the very beginning, I remember when I first started school, I remember all the guys was like, oh, that's that girl, over there. Like, I was kind of always the odd person out because I was the girl. And the females that were in the program, the few that were in the program, they seemed to be on the other side of the spectrum. So I won't go into detail about that, but we can read in between the lines.
Yeah.
But I just held my ground. I was like, you know what? The thing that has always been important to me in school is just to make sure I study hard. And that's what made me shine through in that program. So I always ended up being on top. So I went from being that girl that was in the corner to that girl that everybody wanted to be in a group with,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sometimes that actually opens doors for me because that feminine side and that feminine touch, and women have a tendency to be perfectionists in certain things,
Right.
That gave me a different edge in audio and production. So
yeah, man. I bet you was the one, like, everybody was like, man, I want to be in her group when we work on that project in the studio.
On me. It was crazy.
Yeah, man. For real, man. Oh man, so you that's pretty good. That you handled that real well because me being in it for a while, I could tell you got some slick artists out there and they'll try to do some crazy stuff, just to get influence or get something out of anything or whatnot. So moving forward, that's something you need to watch out for right there. But I definitely salute you for doing what it is that you do. Moving on, so I know you mentioned, you working in the studio and everything like that. Can you kind of like talk a little bit about, what it is that you use, as an engineer or whatnot, just real briefly, what DAW you use, what microphone that you prefer, and mic preamp and all that other stuff.
Sure. I love Pro Tools. I'm a Pro Tools guru. The big person when they say, "What DAW you use?" Pro Tools. What do you want to record in? Pro Tools. I love Pro Tools. As far as preamps, I love Focusrite preamps, but I also love the preamps that come along with the SSL. I'm an SSL girl for sure. As far as mics, it really just depends on what I'm recording and like the vocal timbre of the person's voice. If someone is really, soprano, I'll try to probably stick with maybe something that, you know, a U87 or something like that would be really good for somebody that has a high voice, and someone that has a more low voice, a U47 would be better. So it just really depends on the placement of the microphone, what I'm recording, what instrument I'm recording. I'm really big on that, and just how that person sounds.
All right, man. Hey, man, I like your conversation. See, I can start. Wait, look, look, I can go into engineering with you because you're talking my language or whatnot. I'm probably going to have to invite you on and talk more engineering stuff on another different podcast if you're down for it, man.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, I'm going to hold you to that word or whatnot, man. That's good to know. We're going to segue into, you know what I'm saying, more your artist form or whatnot. And I want to speak more about, you know what I'm saying, the whole you know, the COVID-19 situation. I know a lot of artists out there, they've been doing a lot of different social media campaigns for themselves to keep their brand alive or whatnot. So we had a lot of artists, you know, and I'm going to get your thoughts because I know you kind of like just been under the radar and everything like that. But, you know, we have a lot of artists utilizing video content. And I think that's really been like the biggest thing on all different levels or whatnot, whether you have a small business or, you know, you got a podcast, you got an artistry, producers, everybody's using some type of form of video content to keep their brand alive. Even Music Soul Live Showcase, they had to kind of like transition onto more the video streaming format so they can, you know, saying continue pushing the brand or whatnot. How have you kind of like what's your thoughts on that? You know what I'm saying? How that's going to play out in the future?
If you don't learn it now, then you're going to be left behind.
There you go. It sure is. Yeah.
You know, so the cool thing about that is before COVID-19 hit, that already was the momentum that I had. You know, I was like, you know, I really need to work on video content. I had a lot of things planned that unfortunately I'm going to have to push back until things get a little bit more safe, because you don't want to put people in any type of, you know, jeopardy. But that's really the momentum that I was going for. You know, video content is definitely extremely important, and people are looking to connect with the artist more. And that's the difference between, you know, maybe Beyonce and your local artists, you know, and then you have all these Zooms, and you have IG Live. It gives people the opportunity to really connect with the artist and just create a bond with the artist. And then I've met people from like New York that I'm like, end up being some of your biggest supporters. It's like, I don't even know you, but thank you. And you end up being like getting close with these people just because that video content, or they saw you on something in IG Explore and they're like, okay, hey, I like this person. So that's very important going forward.
Yeah. And, you know what I'm saying, kind of like, you know, add to that, you know what I'm saying, I definitely, video content is going to be the future, and it's going to be funny how all of that plays out after, because, you know, live venue spots have really took a hit on that. And now that video content and the use of a cell phone or iPad or any type of mobile device has kind of exposed itself and what it can do and the power of it or whatnot, it's definitely going to be interesting how that bounced back. And I think the live aspect or live entertainment situation, I think it'll bounce back strong back to where it was before. Just however, you know what I'm saying, okay, there you go. I thought you had
let me put
lost
my
it for a second.
Real quick.
Oh, no, you good. I'm just going to continue going on. Yeah, so, you know, it's just going to be funny how, you know, the live entertainment industry is going to bounce back after you can have your own live entertainment in your own confinements or whatnot. So that's definitely going to be what's definitely going to be interesting, but it definitely adds to what you said, you know what I'm saying, allowing a person to be, you know, bring out more of their personality to connect with anybody in the world, or whatnot. And it's just a wonderful thing for that to happen. Let me keep this ball moving along or whatnot. We got a little bit of time left. We're going to go ahead and get into your songs and talk a little bit more, you know, saying about the songs that you actually put out. And I caught these songs, I think, if I stand corrected, you got 2 songs out on all digital platforms right now. Do you know what it means to be from New Orleans?
Hey.
Dracula's Wedding or whatnot. When those songs got put out on all digital platforms?
Dracula's Wedding came out on October 31st for Halloween. I do that every year. The last year, I just put it out on SoundCloud.
Okay.
And Do You Know What It Means to Miss New Orleans came out for my birthday because I had never been to Mardi Gras. Like, thankfully, I got to go to Mardi Gras before all this hit, you know. And I have a lot of family in Louisiana, so I definitely wanted to pay homage to, you know, that side of my family.
Okay. All right. Cool. And, you know, so I'm gonna start with Dracula's Wedding. I actually checked that out when I think this was right before I met you all with Music Soul Live Showcase. I think we were doing a lot of video promotion taping at that around that time or whatnot. And I caught that video. Kind of describe, number one, the title for that video. The title for the song and the concept behind it, and also describe the visuals, because you do have visuals for it, right? Correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So just kind of talk a little bit about, you know what I'm saying, the concept of quote unquote Dracula's Wedding.
Okay. Dracula's Wedding is actually a revamp of the famous Andre 3000's Dracula's Wedding. A lot of people probably hadn't heard of that song unless you were really a Outkast fan and listened to that whole album. But I love Halloween, you know, even though coming from a Christian background, it's like, you're not supposed to love Halloween. I love Halloween because it gives you a chance to dress up and just, you know, explore that alter ego and the monsters, etc. So I wanted to do something that was really fun for the holiday. And what can be more fun than Dracula having a wedding, you know, saying that he spent his whole life, and they kept saying 3,000. He waited 3,000 years, or she waited 3,000 years to find the love of his life, and he was terrified, you know. So Halloween is supposed to have that terrifying effect to scare you, go to the haunted houses. So I just wanted to bring a fun approach to Halloween that people could dance to, and, you know. That's that. And the visual is the same. The visual is Twilight.
Yeah,
so it was Black
the visuals,
Twilight.
I like that. Yeah.
If you look at the picture, me and the bros, we all are like standing, and, you know, we had the dark circles and all that. So I guess I was Bella, you know. So so the thing was Twilight, and we shot it at like a park, a really nice park that had that full Twilight, you know, thing going on, and we just had fun and danced and, you know, did our thing.
Cool. And and do you know what it means to Miss New Orleans? And I know you say you so basically that kind of, you know, saying that title was influenced from you going to Mardi Gras, right?
Yes.
And when that song dropped?
It dropped on February 25th, Mardi Gras Day, on my birthday.
Okay, well, you timed that just right then. And do you have any visuals for that particular song as well?
I actually do. It's coming.
Okay.
It's coming. I kind of, I said, because of coronavirus, I kind of stopped, but that's kind of coming to an end. I'm like, I probably need to start dropping something here and there. Okay. So the visual to that is coming. It's actually shot in New Orleans. A lot of really good features with the Indians and things like that. So be on the lookout for that. But the song is really just to pay homage to that old school jazz. Both the songs are fully live. I recorded them myself, drums, etc. I recorded, mixed, and mastered both songs. So just to give that live, old school band feel with a new young person's approach. So.
All right, cool deal. Yeah, I remember you on that particular song. Do you know what it means to be from New Orleans? I remember you following you on your social media, and you was shooting, and that probably was February, because everything January, February was a blur until this hit, and it hit slammed or whatnot. And I know you was, you know, saying you had a nice momentum going on for us, you know, saying just promoting yourself as an artist. So I salute you for that and everything. One more thing before we actually play these two songs during our song break. During that time too, you were actually featured in Vogue magazine. Kind of like explain that and how that all came about. And congratulations being featured in Vogue magazine.
Thank you. A friend of mine recommended me and my brand as an audio engineer and as a vocalist, and they reached out to me, and it was like, would you like to be interviewed? And of course, who wouldn't want to be interviewed by
right.
So that was just an awesome opportunity. And they actually republished. They published the article in October and November of last year, but they republished it again April 12th.
Oh, so that's awesome.
That was, yeah, I was like, wow, I wasn't expecting you guys to republish it again. So just excellent free exposure. So I'm definitely grateful for that.
Well, cool deal, man. So what we're going to do right now, we're at the halfway point in the show. We're going to go ahead and spin those songs, Dracula's Wedding, and also, do you know what it means to Miss New Orleans? Not be in New Orleans, but Miss New Orleans and whatnot. We're going to spin those songs right now. We're going to add those to our show Spotify playlist. So if you don't know where to find that playlist, simply just go into our onthebeat.podcast bio, follow the link tree, and you will have a link directly to our Spotify playlist. Go ahead and follow that playlist, man. Everybody that comes on our show and they have a song on Spotify, we will add that to our playlist. So these two songs, they will be on our playlist, man. We're gonna go ahead and get into those songs right now. When we come back, we're gonna talk engineering talk about those two songs, because I know you mentioned your recording process and whatnot. We're gonna go ahead and end the show out. This has been your boy Supa Mario. You're riding with J.G. LaFleur. We're gonna get into these two songs, Dracula's Wedding, Do You Know What It Means to Miss New Orleans. We'll be back on the Beat Podcast Show.
You're all I've ever wanted, but I'm terrified of you. Said my castle may be haunted, but I'm terrified of you. I cast my spells on millions, but I'm terrified of you. Baby, I do this from the ceiling, but I'm terrified of you. I wait my whole life to find the right one. Then you come along and that freaks me out. So I'm frightened. Ooh, Dracula, I'm never with no one, but I'm terrified of you. See, my heartbeat is a slow one, but I'm terrified of you. I have been around for ages, but I'm terrified of you. I do my thing across the stage, but yet I'm terrified of you. I wait my whole life. Then you come along and that freaks me out. So I'm frightened. Dracula's wedding. You know I'm terrified. You know I'm terrified. You know I'm terrified. 3,000. Give me the chance to this romance, though, but I'm not the sun. So much at stake, oh bad choice of words, but I'm not the gun. Of silver bullets, and I can count 1, 2, 3. I make great peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Van Helsing. The richer, the poorer, through sickness and in health, till death do us part. Well, not in our case, baby, 'cause we will live forever and ever, forever, ever, forever, ever. 3,000. You know I'm terrified. Oh. Do you know what it means to miss New Orleans and miss it each night and day? I know I'm not wrong. The feeling's getting stronger the longer I stay away. It's the moss-covered vines, the tall sugar pines, where mockingbirds used to sing. And I'd like to see the lazy Mississippi hurrying into spring. Oh, the moonlight on the bayou a Creole tune that fills the air. I dream about glorious bloom and wishing that I was there. Do you know what it means to miss New Orleans when that's where you left your heart? And there's something more. I miss the one I care for more than I miss New Orleans. Do you know what it means to miss New Orleans and miss it each night and day? I know I'm not wrong. The feeling's getting stronger the longer I stay away. It's the moss-covered vines, the tall sugar pines, where mockingbirds used to sing. And I like to see the lazy Mississippi hurrying into spring. Oh, the moonlight on the bayou, a Creole tune that fills the air. I dream about magnolias in bloom and wishing that I was there. Do you know what it means to miss New Orleans when that's where you left your heart? And there's something more. I miss the one I care for more than I miss New Orleans.
Yo, what's going on, man? This is your boy, Supa Mario. We are back from the song break. We just got finished spinning Dracula's Wedding. And also, do you know what it means to miss New Orleans? You're riding with J.G. LaFleur. She's our special guest on this podcast show right here. We're going to talk a little engineering talk about those two songs. I know you mentioned before the song break that, you know, you did all the recording process on most of the instrumentation, right?
All of the instrumentation.
All of the instrumentation.
Except for the keyboard player. That's but all of the instrumentation.
Now, I want to talk to you about that because that's interesting. You know what I'm saying? I want to ask you, you know what I'm saying? So let's start with Dracula's Wedding.
Okay.
And that song and everything for that means. Let's walk us through, number one, the recording process for as, okay, I'm going to pick these sounds. We're going to go ahead and record them and then engineering and stuff like that. So let's break it down. Sounds. How did you come about just picking the sounds and everything like that?
I listened to the song and I thought about how can I make it different. Dracula's Wedding is originally a MIDI produced song. It didn't have any live instrumentation. It was mostly just a loop. So I'm like, it would be cool to turn that into a real funk sounding song that doesn't necessarily have guitar but still has synthesizers. So I called up my bro David Hudson, drummer, to come into the studio and we just recorded. I mic'd up the drums and we got a few takes, and I actually have a video of some of the recording process coming soon. I did document it, so that'll be coming out soon. But yeah, I started off with drums and then I called my bass player Talu to come in. And he laid down, like, he just totally feels the notes and things like that. And I sent the song up to a keyboard player in California that is with the Live Out Loud band, the group that we normally work with. And he added keys and sent it back, and it was vocal time. So I just actually recorded my vocals in my bedroom. I'm sitting next to my little station here. And the rest was history. Went to the studio, mixed and mastered, and boom.
Cool deal, man. That sounds pretty. Sounds like you put in the work. Total time, like what was the turnaround time to actually just get it recorded and get ready to the mixing phase?
The biggest thing, especially when you're working with other musicians, is coordinating time that works for them. So the cool thing about the drummer prior to COVID-19, me and him would be in the studio with each other almost every day, constantly working on things that I'm working on and things that he's working on. So it was just a matter of we started in July. Before we started a little bit late, July of last year. And we just came in, we knocked it out in like an hour and started working on all this other stuff, you know? Yeah. So that's the biggest thing. The bass player, we probably recorded that in maybe August or something to that extent. And we also recorded multiple songs that day, but it was just a matter of just setting the time that works best for both parties.
Cool, man. That's what's up, man. That's some good insight on that particular song, and just and I appreciate you, walking everybody through your process on that song. Now let's get into do you know what it means to Miss New Orleans? Now, how was that process? Same format, how did you figure out the song sounds for that particular song?
I knew that I wanted to keep it within that same vibe, that old school vibe, but just a little sprinkle of youthfulness. I actually started recording Do You Know What It Means to Miss New Orleans long before I started working on Dracula's Wedding, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
If you were to look back on my social media page, you'll see where I started recording the vocals and things like that. But I recorded that song backwards. I normally start off with drums and like the percussive instruments, but I started off with the guitar on that song.
Oh, okay.
And I used the SSL 4000G. I remember that night, had the lights all dim. And if you take a listen to the guitar, I wanted a very melodic sound. I wanted it to not just be straightforward, but I wanted to really just, that sprinkle that you need to give it that type of a sound. So we started there. Then I started trumpet. I recorded trumpet next.
Okay.
Right.
So you played the guitar and you played the trumpet?
No, I didn't play it. I had buddies come in to play. Now I do play keys, but not on that song.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So I had my friend come in to play trumpet, and I remember he bought his, what do you call it? The plunger or whatever.
It's a mute plunger.
Yeah, he brought in his plunger, and I told him to think Louis Armstrong. Louis Armstrong. And the drums were recorded on a whim. It was actually during another recording session where I was recording the full Live Out Loud band for their project. And I'm like, well, I got both of y'all here today, so let's just do the congas, because normally there was no congas on the original song. So we recorded their brothers. We recorded congas and drums at the same time, side by side. It was just really cool, Once again, sent the keys off, and the rest is history.
That's what's up, man. This is really, really, really wonderful. I know a lot of guys that do engineering, they don't even like talk the way you talk, man. So man, that's just the recording process. And the reason why I say that is because when you are really in tune and have a passion for this audio and the whole process of it and everything like that, there's a certain language that engineers and producers talk and a vibe that's sent off, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And man, you really know your stuff, man. So I definitely salute you and, congratulate you in how you, went about and get these songs, done or whatnot. So that's awesome, man. So we're going to just go ahead and segue, man, and ask what is next for Miss J.G. LaFleur after the whole COVID situation?
Well, I'll say I will be releasing some tracks. I do have some tracks that I have written. I wrote a song to encourage myself and encourage others during COVID-19. So expect that.
Okay, cool.
Expect the Do You Know What It Means to Mix New Orleans video. I have a host of songs I've been working on just over the years that I'm going to be releasing video content and vocal content for those as well. Cool, and expect my EP. The EP is coming real soon, y'all. I have a single coming Falling. If you went to some of my concerts before this happened, you would have gotten a chance to hear that. But Falling In and Out, that's a song that's going to be coming out really soon. So I'm really excited about it. Be on the lookout.
Cool deal, man. You got a lot. Hey, look, I always joke with a lot of people that come on the show. Hey, man, after this whole COVID-19, there's gonna be so much. You think you're seeing a lot of stuff being put out. You know what I'm saying? Just you're seeing a lot of people's creativity at their strong point right now.
Mm-hmm.
But after the whole COVID situation, man, it's gonna be bananas, man. And I'm gonna be so excited just seeing people releasing stuff and what they're working on, and watching the creative process during this time until when they release it. It's gonna be a slew of music videos coming out. I already know that.
Yes.
And a lot of projects dropping, man. But I always want to salute all our music creatives out there, man. You out there doing your thing, taking and using your time wisely during this time, man. I salute all of you guys. And like I said, I'm just going to be excited to see a lot of music out there. J.G. LaFleur, let the people know where they can follow you at on social media, man. Kick out all those social media handles, and that way people can go ahead and follow you, and you can build that fan base.
For sure. You can follow me on Instagram at J.G. LaFleur. That's JGLAFLEUR. If you're wondering what it means, J.G. LaFleur. Also the same name on Facebook, just a space in between, J.G. LaFleur. And that's my name on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, Audio Mac. I got some on all of them. Tidal, J.G. LaFleur. Same name all across the boards.
For sure, man. All right, cool deal. It was one more thing I was going to ask you. Yeah, so on your Instagram, you have another handle. It says Melody on the Earth, ENT.
Yes.
Or something like that. We have a little bit more time. Kind of elaborating on what that is.
Okay, Melody on Earth, ENT. That's my actually alias producer name. I have some beats that'll be coming out. That's that name, Melody.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna make sure I follow that. I didn't even know what that was. I thought that was somebody else and whatnot. So I ain't I was like,
me.
Okay, cool.
That's the parent company. That's the record label.
Okay.
That's gonna be the umbrella for the gear that I'm gonna be coming out with. T-shirts. I have a T-shirt line I've been working on. I do jewelry. So that's just the umbrella for the business side of J.G. LaFleur. J.G. LaFleur is the artist, and Melody on Earth, ENT, is Melody Marauder's home for everything artistic and business-wise of J.G. LaFleur.
All right now. Shoot, man. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, JG, look, I appreciate you so much, man, coming on the Beat podcast. The vibe was definitely awesome and stuff like that. And, I definitely, hope you have a lot of success in the future, dropping all that material, coming up here pretty soon. And again, I just thank you for coming on. Hopefully you'll come back on. We can talk more in-depth audio engineering and production stuff or whatnot. I'm definitely gonna keep you in mind for that. So, you can come back on. It's been kind of tough for me to do this podcast during this time because I actually started in April. And it was just on the whim, during all this stuff. I was actually going to start it in the summertime around this time right here, but COVID hit and everything like that. So it's been kind of difficult trying to bring people in personally. It's only so many people I know and stuff like that, but I wanted you to come in on personally. But virtual is good because this is always going to be a plan B after COVID or whatnot. So it's always good to get this good practice in and how that's gonna, always transpire out or whatnot. So definitely the next time we're gonna link up, we're gonna do it probably another one virtually. We're gonna talk more audio and stuff like that. And hopefully what I'm gonna try to do is everyone in the Houston area that's been on the Beat podcast, I'm gonna do another follow-up interview in person. And I got some big plans for On the Beat podcast once COVID ends. Just be on the lookout for On the Beat. We're going to hit you up again.
I'm excited. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast, and I'm looking forward to being back on the podcast. And I'm definitely looking forward to talking about audio because that is my baby. Don't make me
For sure. But I'm definitely going to keep you in mind for that. This podcast is moving quicker than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a slow moving process. Nobody's not going to be interested in it. So a lot of personal things I wanted to do with the podcast. It's there, but it's kind of like I like to have the interview aspect as a priority. And then I'll go ahead and I'll try to, I got a podcast I got to drop ASAP. I'm definitely done with it. But, my personal topics and stuff like that, I have to kind of squeeze them in because I have so many people trying to get on. I'm already have people booked in August and stuff like that. So it's just been a blessing. But at the same time, Hey, man, this has been good, but I definitely will bring you back on. We're going to talk that audio talk, man. Hey, guys, you've been riding with Supa Mario and also Miss J.G. LaFleur. She spit out her IG handles and all her social media handles. We're going to go ahead and definitely put that in the video at the bottom right there. And I follow her on Instagram, and she does an awesome job with social media. You definitely can follow on Instagram at JG LaFleur. This has been your boy, Supa Mario. We're going to go ahead and end the show out. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Make sure you go on all digital platforms and get the song Dracula's Wedding and also Do You Know What It Means to Miss New Orleans. We will add those two songs on our On The Beat podcast Spotify playlist. So go ahead and follow that playlist and you'll listen to all our past guest songs on there as well, man. This has been your boy, Supa Mario. We're going to go ahead and ride out. Thank you, JG LaFleur, for coming on to the show. This has been another On The Beat podcast show, man. Thank you for tuning in. We out.
Hey.